Hey everyone. Boy, this has been a rough week. Let me tell you, I almost quit my imaginary job like 3 times in like one day. So I planned myself a little getaway, just a little vacation. I'm gonna escape to the jungle. So I'm just gonna be gone for a couple days. I hope you guys don't miss me. But just before I leave, I just want to show you guys I'm all packed. I'm 100% prepared. I've got this backpack here. It's empty. And I've got this notebook, and what I love about this notebook is that I can draw things that would be super important to pack for a trip in the notebook. I'm quite sure with my minutes of preparation, nothing bad will happen to me at all. I gotta cancel that trip.
That's right, folks. Welcome to the luscious, serene, and incredibly cruel jungle that is Green Hell. Developed by Creepy Jar Games, Green Hell is an expansive survival simulator that boasts a wide variety of wildlife, resources, crafting, and health, items, conditions, you name it. Your task? Simple. Survive as long as you can. You are given 3 different ways to experience the game: single-player campaign, survival mode, and multiplayer. Those are all included, and some even have some difficulty sliders. Something I think you need to do is check out both ends of the spectrum, because Green Hell is a challenging experience. I checked the achievements just for the Xbox console, and only 63% of players have survived the first night. But it never really feels unfair. So why do I keep coming back? If your first inclination after seeing this jungle-ish hell is to pull a Creedence Clearwater Revival and run through the jungle, you're gonna die pretty quick. Like really quick. Something's gonna get you pretty dang fast. Nature is scary. In this game, exploration comes second or third among other things you need to prioritize, like your sanity, your health, your hydration, among other things. The story is straightforward, and it's a very grounded storyline. You and your wife are explorers that are attempting to make contact with a reclusive tribe in the jungle, and you're kind of a jerk and you piss them off by publishing their existence, and now they only want to speak to your wife, so she sets off on her own and leaves you behind. A brief couple days pass, and then suddenly a month go by, and all of a sudden you wake up to her screaming to you over the walkie-talkie. You go to save her, but you only end up having tribesmen chasing you, putting you off a cliff, rattling you by your coconut, and wiping your memory. After falling off the cliff, your new objective is just to generally survive, recover your memory, and then by recovering your memory, subsequently remember that you need to save your wife. If you don't die first. There's so many things in this game. Thankfully, your notebook serves as like a guide, giving you mission information and logging all the resources and conditions you happen across, and all the different structures and tools you can build too.
Yeah, that's a rock.
As you traverse the jungle, you're bound to become victim to one of the many threats the jungle has to offer. To investigate those conditions on your body once afflicted, you just have to go to the screen, go to inspect, and then it's really cool mechanic where you just look at each limb individually, and you can even rotate them, and you might catch like a leech or something on your leg. But ultimately, remedying these conditions relies on your resources. Some conditions pass on their own, but can be passed sooner with the help of certain items, and the game will tell you so you're not left like 100% wondering. Although depending on where you're at in the game, you might not have those items on hand, and finding them is its own endeavor. It's actually quite dangerous just to go out and do anything in this game. Crafting is incredibly straightforward, and thank Creepy Jar for that so much. And it's really easy to understand. You put items on a rock, and then you craft the items. It'll tell you once you reach the certain item threshold, now you can make the torch, now you can make a stone trap, whatever. Larger items like like building frames, traps, and mud brick makers require the use of the notebook. Simply hover over the item you want to build, select craft, and then place the framework of the item in the environment. It's like an episode of Chalk Zone. Rudy's got the chalk, but I got a torch. And also worms. Now you just have to bring all the resources to the framework and put it all in place. And by the way, this isn't Minecraft. You can't just like punch the trees and go, and they're gonna fall down. No, you can't. Not with your fists. No, you gotta craft a weapon to actually cut down trees and other resources. And if you're like me, your first weapon might actually just be a torch, which works. And it's suitable, okay? And it's just as satisfying. Building your first shelter gives you access to the save feature, so you can always create different save states if you want to, which I definitely recommend. This also means that yes, if you happen to die at one point, actually any point before building the shelter, you go right back to the beginning of the campaign or day one. I really gotta hand it to Creepy Jar. They thought of everything with this game. The amount of factors that you have to deal with trying to survive is incredibly robust. Energy, hydration, water, and a full nutrient breakdown to complement the hunger. Thankfully, some of these things can be monitored via your watch, which also serves as a nice little compass and time teller as well. Who knew? But you can just eat everything in sight. But foods higher in fats and carbohydrates are better for recovering energy. Oh, and your sanity is definitely a factor too. If your conditions start to worsen, you just start to go nuts. And like, I don't mean like you go like, mildly nuts. No, you go Norman Osborn in Spider-Man crazy. I'll admit, this voice almost drove me to the edge of nihilism. Nothing matters, and I might die, and I might as well just lay down and die now and do it anyways. I've died 10 times before this. This might also be the first time that you encounter the tribesmen in the jungle. And yes, they do not like you. They will try and hunt you down and attempt to kill you. And they're totally real, right?
Oh God, am I even real?
The environment is beautiful and truly one of the highlights of the game. I don't know why, but I get this feeling of experiencing Far Cry 3 for the first time. The very first time I set my eyes on what the game had to offer. The jungle's fauna looks incredibly realistic and has a great lighting system, and it's just wonderful. I like to think that the jungle's beauty is like this balance between the hell that you have to experience versus like what you actually have to traverse. I'll be totally honest, I had a hard time with this game. I barely scraped by my first night. I believe it took me 5 or 6 different attempts, and I was unable to build a fire, and I just slept on the jungle floor. It took me several attempts and hours just to get to day 3, and I 100% enjoyed the challenge. Each death was its own chance to reevaluate and restructure my efforts, because there's always a chance to improve. But just to see what was possible further down the line, I checked out the online multiplayer and joined other players on their servers. Like this one. This camp was really impressive. He had actually survived 83 days and he had conquered the jungle from what I could tell. He had animals, food, resources abundant, good weapons. I mean, I had a good time. He showed me his camp from top to bottom. He even fed me. Maybe just like in real life, hell is better and more enjoyable with friends.
If you enjoyed this video, check out Green Hell. If the idea of a genuine challenge sounds very interesting to you, check out Green Hell. And if you're just a masochist who wants to make every day of their life as painful and as miserable as possible, check out Green Hell. Thank you guys so much for watching.